All right, now let's cut across to Mumbai, where Saurabh Gupta, who's been tracking the inauguration of the country's first monorail, which Mumbai is lucky enough to get, joins us now. Saurabh, what's it looking like at the stations? Are people thronging, or is there less excitement than we expected?
Well, the excitement is really quite a lot, and this queue, people waiting to travel on the monorail, will tell you what the levels of excitement are. And this queue stretches all the way for at least 50 meters. Now, these are people who are still outside the station. There's also a queue at the ticket counter, which is upstairs. And there is a lot of excitement. Remember, this is Mumbai's first monorail and India's first monorail. So, obviously, people are excited. There are lots of people who were here as early as 4 a.m. to take a ride. The monorail opened only at 7, but people were there almost 3 hours before to actually get onto this monorail. And right now, trains are running at 15 minutes intervals. Today is the first day, so there are bound to be some small teething problems. For example, there's a huge crowd that's turned up, so they are allowing people in only at intervals. And right now, you can see the kind of crowd. Mumbaikars are excited. They say it's something completely different, something they're not used to. They're used to the local trains where people hang out of the trains. This, on the other hand, is air-conditioned coaches, ergonomically designed seats, and all those things that one would find in a modern, sleek transport system that Mumbai was in need of for the longest time, and now finally the monorail has opened, and there are other projects also lined up to open. So clearly Mumbaikars are excited. But let me just take you to one person who was the first commuter on today's monorail services. He's also a person who's been the first commuter on many other infrastructure projects like the Eastern Freeway. Well, it's early Sunday morning. The country's first monorail has been thrown open to the public in Mumbai. Lots of people waking up early Sunday morning and coming to experience this monorail. But joining me now is someone who's done this a couple of times before, actually more than a couple of times. Abhishek, tell us, tell us your experience first on the monorail, being the first passenger to buy a ticket on India's first monorail.
I'll tell you, I was here early morning at 4 o'clock with a hope to be the first one to travel on the monorail. But when I was here, I saw somebody already there, right around 2 o'clock at night. So I was a little surprised. But when the gates opened and we rushed inside, somehow I managed to go ahead of him and managed to enter the train first. And trust me, it was an absolutely wonderful feeling while I was on board, the way the train was moving and the areas from which the train was moving. For a moment, when you see outside the window, for a moment you feel are you in Mumbai? You ask yourself, because you see those kind of green fields and all, where you generally you never see them. And when you see Mumbai from such a good height, from almost like about 100 feet above the ground level, it's a different feeling.
You've said you traveled in 9 flyovers, the first person to use the flyovers from the members of the public. Tell us about that.
Yeah, basically this, you can call it a hobby and a passion as well. It all started right from when the JJ flyover commenced. And after that, probably a lot of flyovers, I am the first one to drive over them, like the Eastern Freeway recently opened, then Milan Subway, Parel Baikala, Maheshwari Udyan, Bandravali Sea Link. And probably then now I'm in the process of approaching the Limca Book of Records of being the first commuter over the flyovers of a city.
Right. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Abhishek. Hopefully you'll travel on many more flyovers for the first time, being the first commuter. So Abhishek, they're telling us how he's the first person to buy a ticket on the India's first monorail and also travel on India's first monorail, the first commuter. But he's not alone. You can see the number of people who've turned up after him. Mumbaikars are excited today to travel on India's first monorail. Lots of people at the ticket counters, lots of people waiting to get into the trains. Excitement on this early Sunday morning as India's first monorail opens to the public.